good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to our very first community-hosted events, Talk to Experts Tuesday. My name is Sumac Galuso, and I am the Senior Community Specialist on the customer marketing team. So welcome again. And this is our very first event, so please bear with us as we work out any kinks or any challenges that we might have. So at this time, I'm going to turn this over to Jamie Gregory, who is going to go over some of the housekeeping with you. Also, you will see these slides rolling to go over with some of the housekeeping as well. So Jamie, you can take it away.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our very first Talk to Experts Tuesday, as Sue mentioned. This is a new series we are starting here at Qlik that allows us to connect with all of you. So each session, we will have a different topic with subject matter experts on the call. We will use this time to field your questions, share resources, and hopefully demonstrate a few things within the product. The agenda for today is pretty light, so we're going to review a few housekeeping items, which will then lead into today's topic. So to give you all some time to get your questions in, we're going to share about a little about ourselves and then start fielding your questions. So like I said, a few housekeeping items for today. Everyone is muted, so please use the Q&A panel to ask your questions. We won't be responding back within the panel as we're going to try to get to everyone's questions live. If we don't get to your question or it's something that may take time for us to research, we will be posting this later, the recording and the transcripts and all the questions in the community. Please keep in mind that some of us are within Qlik support, but we will not be able to answer questions regarding a specific open case or anything like that. Nor will we be able to answer any scripting or development questions. We might try to get through some how-tos. It just kind of depends on the questions and how things go today. So we ask that you do keep the questions related to the topic at hand. If we don't know the answer again, we will take the time to research it and get you the answer a little bit later. So today's topic is Qlik Sense Business. As you all hopefully know by now, Qlik Sense Business is our subscription-based cloud or SaaS offering. The focus of Qlik Sense Business is to power all of you to make faster data-driven decisions. It has the same Qlik associative engine as well as core features as Qlik Sense Enterprise. It's the same interface on Qlik Cloud Services, and the environment is completely managed by us here at Qlik, so you don't have to maintain any servers or worry about any upgrades. In fact, you get the newest features and functionality before anyone else. So let us know what kind of questions you have on Qlik Sense Business. Are you wondering how to get started? Do you need to know where certain features within the product? Do you have an administrative question? Let us know in the Q&A panel. And while we wait, I want to go ahead and introduce the panelists for today. We have Adam, who is a Senior Technical Support Engineer. We also have Claudia, who is our Senior Global Manager of Customer Support. So Adam, go ahead, introduce yourself if you don't mind.
Hey everybody, my name is Adam Sawyer. I've been a technical support engineer here at Qlik for a little under 3 years, coming up on an anniversary in about a month. Primarily where I've worked has been with Qlik Sense. I work in developer integrations, other web technologies, and about a year ago I moved into working primarily with SaaS as a process owner for support. So that's what I do now. I live in Durham, North Carolina, and looking forward to answering some of y'all's questions today.
Thank you, Adam. Claudia?
Yes, hi, I'm Claudia. I've been with Qlik for a little bit over 9 years. I lead the global organization from a customer service perspective and have had a vast interest into the SaaS organization and Qlik Sense Business.
Perfect. And so my name is Jamie Gregory. I am a digital support engineer here, so you might see me in the community a lot. I'm writing the blogs. I've been here at Qlik for about 2.5 years, started off in technical support, and then made the transition earlier this year to the digital support team. So we are happy to take your questions. Go ahead and enter them into the Q&A panel, and we'll get started. All right, so I do see, let me go ahead and share my screen. Give me 1 second, sorry guys.
Hey, Jamie, while you do that, I can answer one of the questions that we've gotten.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So one of the first questions we got is, and it's a question that a lot of people want an answer to, and that is, when will you be able to upgrade from Qlik Sense Business to Qlik Sense SaaS or Qlik Sense Enterprise on Cloud Services? It's kind of been called both names. Obviously, I can't discuss the roadmap because I'm not a product manager, but what I do know is that's an issue that we've identified, and what our expectation is that issue will be resolved by the end of the year. So what we should see is just a clean upgrade path for if you trial Qlik Sense Business, or if you trial or do an eval of Qlik Sense Enterprise, that you would be able to move into one of our other SKUs of SaaS relatively quickly. I know that can cause some consternation, maybe create some support cases. So obviously we want to try and get that fixed as soon as we can.
Great. All right, so another question is, I have only the visible part of the visualization is being exported. For example, if you export a table that has scroll bars, you might not get the entire table. You will get the image that shows the scroll bars and the window area that they specify. So yes, that is true. Let me just go ahead and share an app with you guys. Everyone can see my screen. Can you guys confirm, please? Adam, are you able to see my screen?
I can see your screen.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
I just wanted to make sure. All right, so if I'm in an app here and I have a couple tables, you'll see that this table right here has a scroll bar. There's a lot of data in here. And if I go in here and try to download the data, maybe I want to do PDF instead. If I change my settings, you'll see that it only shows a portion, and that is correct. It's kind of a what you see is what you get type of scenario, where if only this portion of the table is showing on the screen, that is what's going to be exported. So the way around that would be to go to the data tab here, which is going to download the visualization as an Excel file, and then you can save that as a PDF and it'll get the full table. So that is a workaround for that. So another question we have out there, is there a way to get a way to monitor app usage, like who opened the app, how long they opened the app, how many times? I don't want to, I mean, Adam, you probably know a little bit more about this than me, and I don't want to really step on anyone's toes about it, but we do have something coming to help monitor that kind of information. I don't know, Adam, if you can speak to that a little bit more.
I absolutely can. So one of the things that we're working on kind of around the August 11th release of Qlik Sense Business and Qlik Sense Enterprise on Cloud Services and Qlik Sense SaaS, right, those SaaS SKUs, is what we wanted to do even while we are working to add the ability to view basically tenant management or application management, be able to view your in-memory usage and other things like that, right, in the product. What we want to do in the meantime is provide almost a performance monitor like application that we're going to be calling the app, Metadata Analyzer, right? So what this application would do is it would allow you to connect to the same APIs that we use to monitor our tenants in Qlik SaaS. And what we could show is the specifics of your tenant. And so that includes how many applications you're using, how much memory those applications take, did you have any reload failures, things that if you're a Qlik Sense Enterprise for Windows Administrator are things you would expect to be able to see in your on-prem tenant. We want to provide the same dashboard that we can see to you, right? And so with that, we should expect to see that on the community blog on August 15th. That's its current release date, though that is subject to change, as is the functionality that's related to that metadata analyzer. But the other thing that you can look forward to in the second half of the year is increasing priorities around you being able to manage your tenant the way you want to, right? And so I think that's something that we can all look forward to, and I think that's a great question.
Perfect. Thank you, Adam. All right. So we have another question. I always get logged out after a short period of inactivity. Any chance to increase the limit? So the inactivity timeout default is 30 minutes. There's not currently a way to change it, but what I do like to do is encourage people. Not sure if everyone is aware. Let me actually, I think I have another tab open that I can show everybody really quickly. So if you're not familiar, this is our community page. It's just community.qlik.com. We do have an ideas section here, Qlik Product Insight and Ideas. And then if you go here to this Ideas tab, you can go ahead and enter in any enhancement requests that you might want to see in the product. So it's really easy. You can search here just to make sure no one else has already suggested the idea. You can search for it, you can vote on the ideas, and you can add your own ideas. So you just need to make sure that you have a community login, and you'll be able to insert your own ideas, and hopefully they can get put into the product. All right, so another question that we got, is there any way to download files from the data section of a space? So for security purposes, once again, there's not really a way to download the data aside from if you're in like a table or something like this and going to the download and then downloading it to Excel. But there is now the ability to use the store into within your script. So if you're familiar with the data load editor, you can actually store information into like a QVD or another type of file and then put it into like Dropbox or Google Drive or something like that. So you can create the store syntax in the script and store that into. So if you're not familiar with the store, actually I had it pulled up, so just, it's on this tab. So the store function, so you can store that information into a file and then save it. So it's something like Dropbox or Google Drive.
Jamie, we did have another question. Now with everyone working from home, people working from all kinds of monitors with different sort of resolutions, often very small, any tips on how to always guarantee a good view for all users?
So we definitely always recommend that you keep your browser at 100%. So you want to make sure that the browser zoom is 100%. And then generally, we just recommend whatever is the recommended size if you're in your display settings here. And then you want to make sure that, I think there's like another setting that is like a zoom in here. So you want to make sure you have the correct resolution for your monitor, and then make sure that the size of text and apps is set to 100%. That's generally what is recommended. I hope that answers the question, okay? If anyone else has anything to add.
Yeah, one of the things that I do use, because I do use two monitors, and one it's a smaller resolution and one with a larger resolution, and the large monitor is very, very small. So I do increase the resolution on that one to 125 to 150. However, another very quick function, if I am inside of the app and I just need to increase or decrease the size, I use the control minus or the control plus function just for that particular screen. And then I can always resume to the regular resolution just by pressing control minus or control plus, and that those individuals can personalize it exactly as the way they want to see it.
That is excellent idea.
So I think we've got another question, Jamie, that I can try to answer.
Okay.
About opening QVD files directly.
Mm-hmm.
So as Jamie was saying earlier, while you can't open the files in like a file viewer in Qlik Sense Business due to security reasons, we do still have full use of the data load editor to basically script data in and out of data files or connections or what have you, right? So if you have a QVD that has been uploaded to an app, one of the ways that you can see the data in the QVD is actually to store the data into a temp directory and basically store into a text file and then open that text file in another file viewer, whether that would be like a Python script that you're wanting to then take that comma separated file out elsewhere or into just a text document so you can just do a quick scan. So when we talk about store into, that's really the benefit of it, is you're not opening the file directly like in a file editor. What you're doing is you're loading that data somewhere else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why that's helpful is because as you move data in and out of the cloud, right, one of the things that you'll utilize is cloud-based resources. So you might have like an S3 connector with a bunch of files, and you may want to move those files somewhere else, right? Like let's say an Azure file store, right? You can do that using that store into command so long as the connector's valid. So I think that's a good use case for the store into. And obviously we can answer more questions about that if anybody has some more detailed questions.
Yeah. And if you really do need to open the QVD file for any reason, like if you've stored it out to like Google Drive or wherever, you do need to open the file just to check it, make sure it's adding data or whatever the case may be. We don't have a solution for that, but there are third-party tools out there like Easy Qlik Cube Viewer and a couple other ones out there that you can open those files and just kind of check things out. I believe most of the case it's read-only, but at least gives you the opportunity to look to see what's getting stored into that file. All right, so we have another question. How can we work with extensions in Qlik Sense Business? So that's a really great question. Let me go here. You guys can still see my screen, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go up here to my profile, and then I believe it's administration. And then there's extensions here. So there is an extensions piece here within the administration portion of the Qlik Sense Hub, where you can add extensions. So you do have to add the extension in, and then once you go into your app, you should see it under the chart options. Let me go back. So I believe it's just a zip file. What's the best way here? We'll go here, Hub. Everything gets moved around a little bit. So we'll go back here, open app. I'll open up one of my sheets, and we'll go ahead and edit the sheet. And then here under custom objects, you'll be able to see your extensions. There's an extensions. Obviously, I don't have any imported at this time, but you would see them here, and then you would be able to drag and drop them over just like any other Qlik Sense chart. But we do have some default extensions already installed for you. We do have the Qlik Dashboard bundle and the Qlik Visualization bundle. So you can play around with those too, just to kind of get your feet wet with extensions.
And Jamie, just to add, we also have another tool, if I can share my screen really quick.
Absolutely. Let me stop my share.
Okay, let me share mine. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
So we have this new website called Qlik.dev. So this is the new developer portal for development activities around Qlik Sense Enterprise for on cloud services, or Qlik Sense Business, right? And that includes extensions development. So one of the things you'll see is data examples of calling the extensions API, of the sample response codes. Generally, this is a more modern developer documentation, which has been quite in demand for Qlik Sense Enterprise for Windows, right? And so if you're developing an extension and not just using an extension, there's a lot you can do using both these tools and other tools in the ecosystem, whether that's Nebula.js to develop using our new front end web frame, or Qlik CLI to automate your SaaS workflows, right? And so this is a great website for any of your SaaS development needs. And it's one of the first places I would go in addition to Qlik Branch. All right, I'll stop sharing, Jamie.
You're fine. Perfect. Thank you, Adam. It looks like someone had just asked that too. So hopefully that answered their question. They were asking, where do we find such extensions, and is that Qlik Branch only? And there are a lot of other third-party extensions out there, and we do have partners that create extensions as well. So it might be like BizLib is a good partner that we work with, and all of their extensions are vetted so that we know that they do work really well with the product. But like I said, there are other third-party extensions out there, and just so you guys are aware, we don't actually support those from a Qlik support standpoint. So if there's an issue with the extension, you do have to go to the developer of that extension and have them fix whatever issue might be caused by that extension. All right, so another question, what is the best way to add data to an already existing data connection? Example, and add an additional column from a SQL connection. So if you have a SQL connection already started, you have your app with data, you should be able to go into the data manager and adjust what columns are being brought in and add additional columns. I'm kind of working on creating a SQL connection. So once I get that up, hopefully I'll be able to show that a little bit more for you. And then let me just show you guys really quick. Let me share my screen again. All right, so we do have another question too. Can we use a SAP connector in Qlik Sense Business? And we do have a SAP SQL connection. So here I am, I'm in the app and I'm in the data manager. So let me go back just so I can show you guys how I got there. This is the new app that I was creating for the SQL connection. We'll go to Open App, and then it'll ask you, do you want to add data from files, or do you want to use the script editor? If we do add data from files and other sources, it'll take us to the data manager. And if you scroll down here, there is the SAP SQL connector for Qlik Sense Business. And so there is another question. So someone said that they noticed that the connectors are different between Data Manager and the Data Load Editor, and that is true. So here I am, like I said, I'm in the Data Manager right now. You'll see a lot of our ODBC connectors in here, so and our storage connectors, so like Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, those are all of our ODBC connectors. If we go into the Data Manager, let me get out of this really quick and go into the script editor and go to create new connection. You'll see that we have, we have the file locations. So these are all of our storage connectors, Amazon S3, Azure, Dropbox, Google Drive, and OneDrive. And then you'll see here on the right-hand side that we have more connectors than what is visible in the data manager. And this is because these are our web connectors as well. So we have two different types of packages, ODBC and web connectors. And so these usually kind of connect out to things like YouTube and Twitter and Google Drive and all that kind of stuff. So these are a little bit different, and they are a different process to connect to, and it's a little bit more manual to connect to, and that's why they're in the data load editor as opposed to the data manager. If you have any questions about the connectors that we offer, let me just pull up the page really quick for you guys. If you go to help.qlik.com, here under documentation, we have all of our products. But if you go here to Qlik Connectors, you'll see we have different types of connectors. Here's the ODBC connector package that I was talking about. And it'll tell you if this connector is available in Qlik Sense Business or our SaaS platform, or if it's just available in like Qlik Sense Enterprise. But this is the ODBC package. So these are the connectors that were available within the data manager. And then if you go to the built-in Qlik web connectors, you'll see here it says the built-in web connectors are only available on SaaS editions of Qlik Sense. So these are the other connectors that I was talking about. And if you have any questions on how to set any of them up, you should just be able to click on the link to that one, and it will give you a little bit of a walkthrough on how to connect to it. So in addition to like another question regarding the extensions, do we have the choice to manually select the version that is running on Qlik Sense Business? And unfortunately, you don't. It is managed by us. So Qlik Sense Business is managed by us. So they do, I think, updates about every month or every month, I think. Is that correct, Adam? Every month?
Yeah, so we do monthly releases.
Yeah.
We also release patches weekly.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So it is updated and maintained by us. The cool thing about that is that obviously you guys don't have to have the infrastructure to host your own environment. But like I said earlier in the introduction, you guys do get the latest and greatest features. So I think that's pretty cool. You get them before anyone else. So you get to see the new things that are coming. So that's pretty cool. If you were interested in hosting your own version, you might want to reach out to your account manager so that they can discuss those options with you. So Adam, there's another question. Do you plan to introduce public space so that users without QSB accounts could also view published apps?
So again, I'm not a product manager. I think that sounds like a great idea. I would love for a way for people to use our product to create dashboards and other things in a very public way, right? I think that's one of the things that would be great to add to our feature requests on the Qlik community forums, right? That Jamie showed earlier. Because ultimately what we want is more people using the product. So to my knowledge, no, that is not in the works right now, but I think there's totally a use case for it, and we should totally put a request in for it.
Perfect. And again, that can be done in the Qlik community under the ideas section. So right over here. So Adam, I think you might be able to answer this question as well. Are there any Qlik provided utilities to support validation of loaded fields versus fields used in transformations, in scripts, and or in visualizations?
So not to my knowledge, developed in SaaS. What we do have are a number of resources that were created for previous projects. So things like Catwalk, which I can post a link to after I get done responding, that show how transformations go. Now, these are third-party extensions. They weren't supported at the time. They were built with Qlik Sense Enterprise for Windows in mind. However, if you could get it working in a Docker instance, right, and look at it, that would be a way to do it. Again, I think this is another place where we could say that a feature request would be valid, because there are some great use cases for that sort of data management part of the data load editor experience. But to my knowledge, there aren't any official tools that Qlik produces at this time. I'm sure that there are, you mentioned bespoke solutions. I think there are people who are trying to solve this use case. And so this would be another place where I think we could totally put a feature request in.
Perfect. All right, so another question that we have is, how do I upload an app? So that's pretty simple. So let me go ahead and go back here. I'll close out of here, go back to my hub. So you're going to go up here to add new. And then here's the option for upload app. I know it's probably changed in the past couple months, so that's probably why there's a question about it, but you just click upload app, and then you can drag and drop your QVF file or even your QVW file now into the space, or you can browse for it as well. And then you can select which space it's going to go to. So if you have multiple spaces, you can select that there, and then you can add any tags if you need to make it easier to search for, and then click upload. We've had some great questions today, everyone. Thank you so much. If you have any more, just let us know. All right, let's see. Cover that one. All right, so we do have one. It's around user management. So I have to invite my user, wait for the user to accept my invitation, and then go to each of the spaces and click on members, and then search for the user, give them access. So basically, they're just asking, is there an easier way than going through all of those steps? So yes, the process has changed from the previous iteration of Qlik Sense Cloud to now, which is Qlik Sense Business. So before, you could go ahead, invite the user, and then automatically assign them. And now it's a little bit different, where you do have to wait for the user to accept the invitation. That is still the case. There are some settings here. I believe it's here in settings. Oh, wrong section. Let's go to administration. Oh, was I right? Oh, here, down in configuration. So there are a couple of settings here. They move. Adam?
Sure.
I was looking for the settings for the users where you can have them automatically, once they log in, they are assigned either a professional, they're assigned.
So I believe that's actually going to be under license.
A license, yes.
So if you're in QSB, you may not have the option to.
It might just be SAS then.
So go to user. So go to user allocation, because I think they might have just changed the name. Yeah. So I think that's just in QSC.
Okay.
On cloud services. And the reason for that is you're usually in a Qlik Sense Business instance is smaller, right? So the UI that's presented is different, right? Like we just solved a defect where like where you used to not be able to add, it's actually a feature request, but it was submitted as a defect, where you used to not be able to add shared spaces in the UI other. So we're getting more parity between QSB and Qlik Sense Enterprise on cloud services. So, but you will see deltas like this with license management.
Yep. All right. Perfect. So I hope that answers your question. Again, like I said, if I know it's a change from Qlik Sense Cloud, it's a little bit different way to invite your users and give them access. Submit your enhancement requests. You know, our teams love to hear from you guys on what you think would better the product. And if you would like to see something that was previously in the product or something completely new, just enter in that enhancement request so that we can, so that your voice is heard. I mean, we want to hear from you guys. We love your suggestions. Let us know. So some getting started questions. What kind of resources do we have available? So we have quite a bit. If you haven't played around in the community, I highly suggest that you do. Here under Qlik Data, there's Qlik Sense, and then there is new to Qlik Sense. There's also a SaaS and multi-cloud, which you can always use to ask your questions or kind of learn a little bit. That's a great way to kind of get around, see what people are trying to do, what they are doing, and how to go about it. You can also ask your own questions in there if you're stuck. Like, how do I, if I need to do X, Y, Z, what's a good way to go about it? You can go ahead and enter in a post on the Qlik community. And the great thing about the Qlik community is that it's not just, you know, one person trying to help you. It's a lot of people. It's our entire user base, pretty much. It has people from product management. It has people from product support, from customer support. So there's a lot of internals as well as actual Qlik users in the community that can help you get started and answer your questions as well. We do have a YouTube channel. Let me see if I can pull that up. Wrong one. Sorry, my windows are a little bit messed up. So we do have the Qlik Support YouTube channel. You can find it just by Googling Qlik Support YouTube, and it'll pull it right up. We do have some playlists here. One specifically that I do want to share is Qlik Sense Business. I don't want to play it right now, but we do have multiple videos about getting started with Qlik Sense Business. So how to set up the multi-factor, inviting users, which we kind of just went over a little bit, and loading files, connecting to local databases, things like that. So make sure you check that out. And again, we do have the help.qlik.com page where you can search in here on questions. And we do have documentation specifically for Qlik Sense Business. It's under the SaaS editions of Qlik Sense. So you'll just click on that. It'll take you to the help manual for that. And you can kind of look around in there. And another great way to get help is, you know, support. So that's support.qlik.com. We do have a pretty extensive knowledge base where you can search for answers. So you can type in your question here and get a ton of articles about hopefully what you're searching for, and that should help you get started as well. And again, everything is actually searchable via Google. So if you just type in your question into your browser and then just append Qlik to it so that it knows Qlik or Qlik Sense Business, everything is searchable and within Google. So you'll get links to the community, you'll get links to articles, you'll get links to the help even, or you'll even get some videos that we've posted. So that is a great way to get started with using Qlik Sense Business.
Hey, Jamie, I've got a couple questions that I can answer. So we've gotten a couple questions about what is the difference between Qlik Sense Business and Qlik Sense Enterprise on Cloud Services. I kind of I kind of alluded to it earlier, but just to draw out some of those comparisons. So when you think about Qlik Sense Business, right, it's a digital purchase, right, that where you're going online, you're trying it, you're buying it with a credit card, right? And as part of that, what we do is we take away a lot of the headache of having to publish apps or deal with managed spaces that you have to deal with in Qlik Sense Enterprise. And that's because it's a really different use case. Qlik Sense Business is about making sure that your team can just work together on applications and develop together, right? When you look at Qlik Sense Enterprise on cloud services or just Qlik Sense SaaS in general, right, what you see is just more enterprise workflows, right? You're going to deal with managed apps. You're probably going to be embedding applications using API development keys, right? You're going to be distributing apps maybe from a Qlik Sense Enterprise for Windows instance that you want to have available to this different user community that uses, right? With that, though, both products do have some size limitations just due to the fact that they're SaaS. Every SaaS vendor has size limitations, right? Whether that's in-memory app usage or that's, you know, on disk usage. And I've actually posted to the question where this was asked, hey, what's the limitations with this, from our pricing page. But what we're generally going to find is that's 2.5 gigs in memory. One of the things that we're going to be hopefully excited to announce in the coming months is an increase to those rates. Again, I can't say how much because I'm not a product manager, but we do have that on the roadmap to increase the number of situations where SaaS is the right fit for our clients, right? So I think those are all the questions that were asked, but if you have more about the deltas between the two products, feel free to ask, even if that's just like a UI thing, like I mentioned earlier.
So a question did come in about if we're going to be hosting, I answered this online, if we're going to be hosting other sessions like this with other topics. And I did write the answer, but I wanted to also speak it. Yes, we will be hosting these. Our plan is to do this on a monthly basis on Tuesdays. We are thinking about the next topic to be Qlik View to Qlik Sense, and we will have various topics on a monthly basis. Again, this is brand new and it is a pilot, but so far we've had a great turnout, and that is our plan.
Yes, we do plan on having, like Sue said, lots of different topics, Qlik Sense on Windows, Qlik View, end printing, geoanalytics. We're going to try to get through all of our products and then, you know, keep it going. So I hope you guys will join us for those. It's been a lot of fun. Let's see. Was another question. I'm trying to find it again. So the question is, how do we know about any product updates or what's being added to the product? That is a great question. As Adam mentioned earlier, we do have a monthly release, and then we do patches weekly. We do have a place. Let me show you guys. Let me pull up a different browser really quick. Maybe not. We'll just start over. I get too many tabs open, and I just get lost a little bit. Usually my browsers have, you know, 1 million tabs, so only having 5 tabs right now is pretty amazing for me. All right, so here we are at community.qlik.com. If you go here to Qlik Support Knowledge, and then Qlik Support Updates blog. So this is the blog that I told you guys about earlier. It's the one that, you know, I write a lot of the entries for. So there is going to be a monthly blog that walks through the SaaS updates for that month. So we recently had the July update. As Adam said, next week we'll have the August. I can't believe we're already in August, but yes, we'll have the August update. So if you look for those blogs, you'll see that I outline exactly what has been put into the new version. So if you're not already subscribed, I would recommend that you do so. So it's really easy. If you go again here to Qlik Support Knowledge and then the Qlik Support Updates blog, there will be a green subscribe button right here. Mine says unsubscribe, obviously already subscribed, but make sure you subscribe to the Qlik Support Updates blog. We do, if there's any issues, anything that happens within Qlik Support that we feel needs to get to you guys, we do put it in this blog. So make sure you check it, subscribe. It's a good source of information of what's happening within Qlik Support. And also, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, I would recommend subscribing to that, just because we do have quite a few videos that we post here. We make videos pretty regularly, especially with us in support. So make sure to check those out as well. So another question, are we going to have access to the recording and questions after this webinar? I don't know if it'll be immediately after this webinar, but we are going to compile all the questions and then we are going to post them into the community. We're not exactly sure where yet. We will make sure that everyone on this call today gets access to that. And like I said, again, we probably won't put it in the blog, but I will blog about it. So this is a good reason to go in and subscribe to the Qlik Support Updates blog. I'll make sure I notify everybody where this recording and the FAQ is going. So another question that has just come in, does section access work on Qlik Sense Business? Does anything need to be changed in the script for it? So we do have the ability, I guess, you know, some of you might remember where we did not have section access available in Qlik Sense Business. It is now available. Let me see if I can find the help link for you guys. So just give me one moment. I'm sorry. Perfect. So we do have a section here for managing security with section access. We'll make sure we get the link to you guys in the FAQ, but there is the ability to put section access now in Qlik Sense Business. So we, you know, it is a little bit more advanced. So hopefully you have experience maybe with one of our other products, Qlik Sense Enterprise or Qlik View, before trying to attempt this yourself. But this is another great example of how you can use the community for assistance. So if you run into any roadblocks or you need help with it, I would ask out in the community on assistance with implementing Qlik Sense section access. All right, guys, if there aren't any other questions, we will give you some time back into your day. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you guys joining us today. And thank you to my other co-hosts, Sue, Adam, and Claudia. I hope this was, you know, very helpful and useful for you guys. And like we said, we will be doing this with other products. So we look forward to seeing you in those sessions. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Bye-bye now.